The whole keystone to our sense of time, our sense of continuity, is memory. What's memory? Memory seems to exist in different levels. Our bodies have a memory. It's said that you never forget how to ride a bicycle. Once you've learned to ride a bicycle, the body will always be able to get on a bike and go off cycling again. I suppose the same goes for swimming. Once you've learned to swim, that's it. The body doesn't forget how to swim. And you can see this with learning to drive a car or learning to play a musical instrument. You can forget these things because they're more complicated, but it's something that the body learns and remembers to a greater or lesser degree. But this isn't what we normally mean by memory. A couple of nights ago I had this dream where I was visiting this property. It was some kind of offices with one or two other people. And then I remembered that I'd actually applied for a job in one of these offices and worked there for a day or so, and it hadn't turned out too well. And I saw one or two people through the window that I recognised. Where did that memory come from? Later on, when I woke up and thought about this dream, I wondered if this memory was actually real. There was something vaguely familiar about this experience of having worked in a place. It was like a bank or an insurance office for a day, and realised it was totally inappropriate that I was there. There was some mistake or something. I shouldn't actually have been there. And I wasn't sure if this had actually happened or not. I don't think it had happened, but there was something very familiar about it. It's almost like I had an emotional memory. There was a feeling. The memory was based on a feeling which I was trying to put a context to. Perhaps it was a dream. Perhaps I was remembering another dream. Or perhaps it wasn't based on anything. Perhaps that whole memory was created at that moment in the dream. And that was all there is to it. It just arose. This is what we experience when we wake up in the morning, especially if we wake up in a different place. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing is, it's just a blank. And then there's a kind of inner scampering around as all the bits of your life come together, as you remind yourself who you are and where you are. It takes a little bit longer when you're in a different place, an unfamiliar place. But that's the feeling. There's just this blankness, and it all comes filling in. Now the question is what's being filled in what was there before? Or is it completely new, completely fresh? Are all your memories coming flooding in at that moment? Are they all new? Or are they old memories? Well, the thing is about a memory, is it comes with this inbuilt feeling that it's something that's happened in the past, that it's something old. That's what a memory is. It's part of the quality of a memory. So if you get a new memory implanted into you, it comes with the inbuilt feeling that it's something that happened in the past. You sometimes see this in certain kinds of movies where the main character, it might be a human being or it might be an android, is given lots of memories. These memories are somehow transferred into the consciousness of the character. And along with these memories is the feeling that they happened in the past. So this idea is quite common in movies. But how true is it? Kundadanta said, memory arises when a past experience is revived in one's consciousness. In the beginning of creation, whose memory expands as this creation? Kundadanta is assuming the standard understanding of memory. In other words, memory is based on past impressions. And this being so, how could the universe have arisen? What were the initial past impressions which gave rise to the universe? This is Kundadanta's understanding. The sage replied, everything is seen and experienced, even though all this had not been seen or experienced before, even as one may dream of one's own death. In other words, it's not based on past experience. You obviously haven't experienced your own death, and yet you can dream about your own death. So too with the rest of the dream. It's not based on what has gone before. It's something which is arising in this moment. The very notion, this I have seen before, when repeatedly entertained, becomes a memory. So this is the power of notions again. Some of the notions we have, we apply the notion, I have experienced this before. And it takes on the status of a memory, as something that happened in a time before now. This is what happens in the dream with your dream memories. You have memories in a dream, and you assign these memories the status of something having happened before. In your dream you're not completely newborn. Well, in a sense you are, but that's not your experience. You experience continuity. You're experiencing an external world, something which you feel has existed prior to the dream. It comes with its own inbuilt memories, and a memory is something you've applied a notion to that you've experienced this before. In the space of one's own consciousness, the imaginary object appears. It cannot be said that it is real or unreal. It's all of a notional quality, an imaginary quality. It is only by the grace or the power of consciousness that even dreams and the like are experienced. How then is it impossible for this pure consciousness to bring about the world appearance as if it were revived memory? Just as at the end of deep sleep one dreams, even so in the infinite consciousness the three worlds appear. That which is called the world is pure void. In other words, it's of the nature of a dream. It's got no substance. It isn't what we think it is. What is, and in what it is, and from what it is, that which is all, exists everywhere at all times. In other words, it's simply the one thing doing its thing. There's nothing else to it. Now arise and do what has to be done. I shall resume my contemplation, for without such contemplation there is possibility of contact with sorrow. And this is what the enlightenment practitioner must do. Keep practicing. Keep coming back to this understanding, to this realization.